Welcome back to K&L Farms. I'm Ken. It's election day and I thought there was no better way to spend my time today than get a load of firewood. And I hope that you guys are well on today and secure, and my thoughts go out to you. So also I was thinking that on one of the videos, I posted a video, I think I made 3 mistakes. Well, I'm not 100% sure if they were actually mistakes or if they were somewhat misleading. And let's go with the first one, and I think the most important. I think I mentioned somewhere I was on a cold deck, or if you found a cold deck, and I explained a cold deck for me is there's no loggers around, no equipment, no loggers around, big pile of wood. You don't have free gratis, and that's where the misleading part came in, I think. You don't have free gratis. Just because there's a log pile there, you just can't go start cutting because you're going to get in trouble, some significant trouble. So the image I'll show you right here, that's actually a school activity. So I had permission, and the school puts on a donation type deal probably 3 times a year. And what it is, you go to a certain area and you can cut firewood on that area for that day. And when you come back with a truckload of wood past the check-in point, you got to sign a waiver to get on. You give them some donation, and they don't dictate what the donation is, whatever you feel comfortable doing. So that was one thing. The other thing is election day. It's November 4th. I think that's election day, but whatever day it is, I'm cutting firewood. Now, I think, I don't know if I got a comment, but someone actually mentioned that they assumed that I was going to cut this like today. I was going to bust it up in rounds and I was going to burn it this year. That's not the case also. It's actually, this is probably 3 years from now. So with the oak over there, oak dries for, I think they say 1 inch per thickness per year. Now I might work on that later on this coming spring, but for right now, none of this wood is for the stove, because if you put it in the stove, you have the threat of building creosote up in your chimney and causing a chimney fire, which by now you realize I'm on the volunteer fire department, and I think the last fire call I went to, it was actually a chimney fire. It was in a shop, but still it was the same thing. So no, none of this wood that I'm processing right now is for this year's consumption. The other thing and I'm considering it, and I'm running the numbers here back and forth, but I am seriously considering, they call it a side hustle, and trying to make some money off of firewood. I'm still in the numbers process of it, and so far the numbers don't work out for me 100% to be a profitable organization, but it's going to be a hobby, and I already cut the firewood. And the next image I'm going to show you right here is these logs were a roadside. Now this is Doug fir here, or that's a fir product. I'm not sure it's Doug, but that's a fir product. Or the beginning of the video, you see me in a big oak field, and I'm going to try and go back to that oak field and see how much wood's left. Now, that day that I went and I did the video on it, I was on that school activity. In order to get back on that same plot of land, I had to get a permit. Now this part you can also probably relate with is, so I started, I think it was on a Monday or something, I started, because it's been about 14 days ago since I was on that school activity, or the last video on firewood. And so I went back, or trying to go back, so I called the office for the people that are in management of that plot of land, or that that oak wood. And it took me 3 days, which you could probably relate anymore if you're trying to get somebody on the phone. It took me 3 days to actually get them on the phone, and only a couple hours actually to get the permit. I had to drive down and get the permit. It wasn't that long to get the permit. It was the duration of time is, in fact, trying to contact somebody to get the permit. So the other thing is I got a moisture meter coming. I thought that would be highly important because I don't know what the moisture, I don't want to sell an item of firewood until I know the moisture content inside the firewood, which I think is pretty important. But I'm going to try and get these out, or at least one of them out, stood up, and see what the original moisture content is. Now I don't have the meter yet. It's supposed to come today in between 1 and 3, but I could at least tell this log was actually on the ground, and it was a dead log on the ground. It's not soft, or we call it pucky. It's not pucky at all. It's just that I don't know what the moisture content is. So I was going to drag one of these out, unload this truck, and maybe go back and get another load of wood. But that's what I'm going to work on here for just a minute. And I guess I could get an axe if I could find the axe. I got to split them all here. There's my axe. I don't really want a good saw. Okay, let's just get it loaded over on the pile.